In my last video, I said that I was done talking about the ending of Attack on Titan, but as I thought about it, I remembered how many people discussed the ending of Game of Thrones for years after it ended, and it got me thinking that maybe I should start just going over the entire story of Attack on Titan and critiquing it from top to bottom now that we know the ending. I think that it would be very interesting to people to watch. It would also potentially grow my channel, which I've been trying to do for a very long time, so hopefully it'll work out. If you enjoy this content, please hit it with a thumbs up, comment, and share it so that I know that you enjoy it and I'll continue the series. Spoiler warning ahead, I will be discussing the entirety of the story and will mention things that have not yet happened in the anime in this video. You have been warned. Now, it was a lot different to judge the entirety of the story before the ending because we all assumed that the ending would answer a lot of questions or add a lot of validity to some theories or just explain things that we thought needed a little bit more context. For example, Eren and Mikasa. I definitely feel that if Isayama wanted to end his story on this relationship, then we as an audience needed a lot more context in the story in order for this relationship to feel satisfying and to make sense. Now, many of the defenders of the ending of Attack on Titan point to this relationship as the reason why the ending makes sense. Unfortunately, immediately resort to comparing this relationship to Eren and Historia's instead of defending the relationship on its own merits. I'll judge Eren and Mikasa's relationship for what it is throughout the story, using examples from both the anime and manga, going over every interaction between them to find examples of their romance being portrayed. But first, I want to show an example of a good romance in fiction, and then an example of a bad romance in fiction. A good romance example would be Aladdin and Jasmine. No, not that Aladdin and Jasmine, that one. Now, I'm not saying that these two should have been in love by the end of their story, but their romance was very believable. Aladdin and Jasmine both have similar desires to change their lives and to find happiness, but it's not exactly the same for the both of them. While Aladdin wants to be treated like royalty instead of like a peasant, Jasmine wants to be treated like a normal person and be able to explore the world without being protected or held back. And so when they meet, it's completely believable how Aladdin will fall for someone who is similar to him, and the same for Jasmine. After Aladdin finds out Jasmine is the princess, Aladdin tries to change himself in order to win her over, while at the same time allowing Jasmine to finally get to explore the world like she always wanted to. In the end, Aladdin has to be honest with Jasmine and tell her that he is not who he pretends to be because he wants her to love him for who he is, and in the end, she does. It makes perfect sense why these two would form a connection, and their relationship is totally believable. If you want to look at another example, Beauty and the Beast is very similar. No, not that Beauty and the Beast, that one. Bella's a woman who just wants to be someone who reads books all day and enjoy the simple things in life without being judged. And the Beast is a man who wants to find love not only for his family and friends, but for himself. But he's too cold and harsh to others for anyone to ever love him. And also, he looks like a beast. Even still, the writers managed to make their romance believable because these two characters complement each other so well. There's a reason why these films are regarded as such classics. They have more than romance in them, sure, but they handled their romance very well. They made it believable why these two characters would connect and potentially fall for each other. Now, let's look at the bad example, Twilight. Now, I know a lot of people love Twilight, but it's not regarded as a good film by many people. It's okay, I guess, but it's more so the premise that I think carries the film rather than the romance between the two main leads, Bella and Edward. Now, what is the romance between these two? They meet because Edward, who is a vampire, thinks that Bella's blood smells good, which is a quote-unquote good thing because he conveniently doesn't drink human blood. And Bella likes Edward because, I don't know. They never say why she loves him or even likes him. They never share dialogue about how much they have in common. They never have a conversation about their goals in life. Nothing like that. They just like each other. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, of these examples I've given, which do you think is most similar to Eren and Mikasa's? Let's look at every single interaction between these two characters and find out exactly what's going on here. Starting from the beginning, how Eren and Mikasa met. Eren saved Mikasa's life and killed 2 of the 3 men that killed her family. After commanding Mikasa to help him, they kill the 3rd and final man. Afterwards, Mikasa contemplates on where she will go without a family, and without hesitation, Eren tells her that she will go home with him and wraps his scarf around her. This is undoubtedly a touching moment, and I can certainly see why Mikasa would take a liking to Eren due to this action. But did Eren take a liking to Mikasa, or was he just helping her? I'm not convinced yet, so let's keep going. The next interaction between the two, canonically, is when Eren wakes from his dream in the first episode of the anime. Eren and Mikasa share no romantic conversation in this scene, in the entire episode either. The only thing that happens is Eren reveals that he previously shared his goal of joining the Survey Corps with Mikasa, and then Mikasa exposes that to his family in an attempt to get them to stop him from doing it. Now, of course, Mikasa is doing this from a place of love, but keep in mind what this would mean for Eren. It would be like if Aladdin went and told Jasmine's father that Jasmine was trying to leave the palace. A romantic interest is never supposed to try to stop you from achieving your goals. They are supposed to help you achieve them. Granted, joining the Survey Corps is a very dangerous thing to do, but so is leaving the palace, as shown as Aladdin. Undoubtedly, Eren would not be happy with Mikasa for doing this, so I definitely put this interaction as a negative towards their romantic relationship, but a positive towards their family and friend one. It makes sense for a sister to behave this way, but not a girlfriend. Next, we have Eren yelling at Armin about the food rations. Mikasa knocks Eren down a peg and shows him that he is weak but needs to become strong. This is where Mikasa finally starts to help Eren reach his goals, albeit in a harsh way. I don't find this romantic at all, though. Not at all. I don't know about you guys. And those are the interactions I want to cover for them as children. Now, when they grow older and are training to become scouts, they share a few more moments. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'll go over the major ones. One is where Eren tells Mikasa that her hair is too long. That's not really romantic. I don't know. I don't find that romantic. And the rest are Mikasa nagging him. Once they become scouts, they are sent off on their first mission. Mikasa tries to disobey a direct order in order to go with Eren, to which Eren physically assaults her by headbutting her. Now, I don't know about you, but physical assault is not very romantic to me. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. So at the end of the story, when Eren knows he will die soon, he cries like a baby about how he hopes Mikasa never falls for any other man. But when Eren is literally inside a Titan's stomach, he doesn't even think about Mikasa, let alone mention her. It's almost as if Eren does not think about Mikasa even when he's about to die. This has nothing to do with Eren and Mikasa's interactions, but I do think it deserves to be mentioned. If Eren is so deeply in love with Mikasa, then why does he never think about her one single time during the series when he is about to die, except for in chapter 139? But let's put a pin in that and keep going. So Eren comes back as a Titan, Mikasa hugs him, they convince the garrison that they are not evil, and then Eren is given the order to close the recently made Titan hole. Now, of course, Mikasa wants to come with, and Eren insists that she does not. This could be seen as romantic, but I don't think so. Eren just seems annoyed, which is further evident when he literally tries to kill her. Yeah, I can definitely feel the love. Now, this can be summed up as Eren not being able to control his Titan form, but I disagree. Eren has never lost control of his Titan form in any other instance in the series, and as we are shown later, fresh Titans are perfectly capable of controlling their Titans, like Falco for example. This is not a valid excuse for why this happened. What is more valid is that Eren transformed while angry with Mikasa, which in turn caused him to attack her. Later on, Eren has no recollection of performing this attack, and I don't believe he would ever actively try to physically hurt Mikasa, but his feelings toward her at this moment definitely played a role in the way his Titan behaved. So everything that happened between Eren and Mikasa before Eren became an official scout was not romantic at all. We have no flirting, no common interests, no bonding. All we have is goal-oriented conversations, physical assault, and nagging. These are not the hallmarks of a relationship, much less a healthy one. Nothing else really happens in the story for a while in terms of growth for their relationship either. Only thing left to mention in this section of the story is Mikasa telling Eren that the world is a cruel place. This is a cool scene, of course, but once again, it's just not romantic. Now, granted, these are all the adolescent stages of the duo, so I guess there's still room for a romantic relationship to develop, but there is one romantic moment worth discussing in this stage of their lives. This is the moment that many will point to as proof that Eren and Mikasa are in love. Again, I disagree. This interaction is romantic, well, as romantic as Attack on Titan can get, but it's still mostly one-sided. After Mikasa expresses her love for Eren and attempts to kiss him, Eren stands up to avoid the kiss. Now, I understand that there are more pressing matters at hand at the moment, but once again, we have no proof that Eren loves Mikasa. Eren says he will wrap Mikasa's scarf forever, but Mikasa's scarf does not symbolize a romantic bond between the two. It symbolizes a family bond. It's the moment where Eren accepted Mikasa as his family. So why do people automatically assume that the scarf is associated with romance? Alright, so let's continue. In the Uprising arc, Eren starts to develop a relationship with Historia and Mikasa gets jealous, once again one-sided. We will never see Eren get jealous one time in the series until the very last chapter. Other than that, there's too much going on in the main plot at this time for Mikasa and Eren's relationship to naturally grow, so let's skip to after the basement reveal and go over what happened during the time skip. Not much relationship development really happened during this time period because once again, the plot was more important. The only moment that's worth mentioning is when Eren asks Mikasa, "What am I to you?" To which Mikasa hesitates and replies, "Family." Now, before the final 2 chapters, this scene was supposed to be the moment where Eren realized that the future cannot be changed. This is why he is on the verge of tears when asking Mikasa this question. Eren is not desperate for Mikasa to love him. He is desperate for the future as he has seen it to not come to fruition. He is desperate to be wrong. And he isn't. Eren realized that the future cannot be changed, and from then on puts on his persona that we see all the way until the end of the series. Now keep in mind, this is all of the interactions worth mentioning between a romantic lead in a story with over 130 chapters. I ask you again, is this relationship more like Aladdin or Twilight? I think it's more like Twilight. Now of course, Eren is a much better character than Edward, and Mikasa is slightly better than Bella, but nevertheless, their romantic relationships are very similar. They share nothing in common, they have no similar goals or desires, they haven't even the same philosophies. I ask again, where is this relationship? Let's look again at all of the times Eren almost died. In Shigashina, Trost, the cave, against the Warhammer. Eren has never even thought about Mikasa for one single moment. When he was destroying the world, Eren did not think about Mikasa. When he was in Paths, Eren did not think about Mikasa. Eren did not have romantic feelings towards this woman for the entirety of the series until the last chapter. I'll believe that Mikasa had some emotions for him, but there's virtually no way to prove that it was reciprocal before chapter 139. At the end of the day, I never saw Attack on Titan as a romance. I always thought it was better than that. I thought Isayama was intentionally avoiding romance because he had much more important things to share with us. Apparently, I was wrong. Apparently, he wasn't just avoiding romance for the sake of the story. He was just not good at writing romance. I mean, think about it. What romantic relationship in this story is handled well? Grisha and Dina? Annie and Armin? Historia and Ymir? Grisha and Carla? Ymir and Fritz? All of these relationships are problematic in one way or another, and maybe that's what Isayama was going for, but if that's the case, then the ending makes even less sense. How could the relationship between Mikasa and Eren be so strong that it has the ability to end Titans? This relationship is not strong, at least not romantically, and there's no way you could convince me otherwise.